Hey everybody, it's Carolyn Soldo here, and I have the beautiful Alycia Hall with me here today. She is a emotional healer, and she helps people really break through and heal their emotional blocks. And I wanted to do a success series interview with her because she's just been so successful and so powerful in our program, and I feel like the work that she's doing in the world is so impactful. So I wanted to showcase her and chat with her a little bit about what she's been doing, what she's doing in her business, and see if you guys can't learn anything from her. So welcome, Alycia.
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's get started with a little bit of backstory. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, what you do in your business, and who your clients are.
Well, I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I've been a coach for a while, and I was sort of hiding out and working with people in a way that didn't feel super authentic for a long time. And every time I tried to grow my business, I just got stuck because something just didn't feel right, and I didn't really realize what that was until you and I connected, and I figured out that maybe I wasn't showing up 100% authentically. So once I got a hold of what that was and really kind of owned that part of myself, then I really felt free to grow, free to just I just really felt like finally I had broken that ceiling, that glass ceiling that was holding me back. And so the work that I do now with people is more spiritual. And that was the part of me that I didn't really want to own. I was a little bit nervous about doing that because I thought people are going to think I'm weird, or they're going to judge me, they're going to criticize me. My family's going to read about this and go, "Oh my God, what's going on with this girl?" And I realized it was that sort of keeping myself in a box that was really limiting, my passion, my joy. And I think I just needed permission to kind of get out of that and be like, who cares? Just do you, and the rest will follow. So that's kind of how it started.
Absolutely.
But you gave me that permission, to kind of show up more real.
Yeah. And we have some people watching here. If you are a new coach, or maybe even an experienced coach, and you feel anything like, fear of being judged, fear of really being yourself, fear of owning that niche, right, Alycia? Or maybe even owning that title, or coming forth with a message where you feel like, oh my God, people are not going to like it. My friends, my family, people, whoever on social media. If that's you, put a 1 in the comments. We want to see how many people are feeling that way. And chances are there's more women especially out there in the coaching community who have those fears, no matter what it is. But in spirituality, I feel like it's a very common theme.
Well, and here's the thing. I was showing up like close to 100%, maybe 80%. I was pretty aligned, but it wasn't like, it's just that last 20% means the whole, the whole world for you, how you feel about yourself. And so I was quite honest with people when I was on the one-on-one calls with them about the kind of work that I did and got into the spiritual stuff, but I was afraid to really broadcast it. I was afraid to really put myself out there. And part of the reason was for being judged, but then part of the reason was also, well, what if, as soon as I put it out there, I'm no longer able to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you put the pressure on. I felt like I was putting the pressure on. I realized that again, that was a fear too. And I thought, no, so anyway, there's a couple fears going on, right? That really prevented me from really showing up honestly. But I think, through your support, I was able just to kind of push through that fear and realize that no, I'd still be able to do what I can do. And yes, the right people will accept me. I'll attract more of my people, so I'll feel less alone at the end of the day. And that's kind of what's happened, is that, I'm surrounded now by like-minded people, which is way more of a community than I had before. So the opposite has actually happened. And that was quite interesting.
That's awesome. Yeah. Now tell us a little bit more about what exactly you do with your clients. It's about healing old emotional blocks, right? What does that mean?
Well, so it's kind of started back when I was a little bit younger on my own healing journey. And I had I had become addicted to meditation. And so what that was a bit of an escape. because it was like, you're running away, you're trying to seek some sort of high. And anyway, it was just really leaving the present moment. And finally, I realized that and started forcing myself to feel my emotions. And I didn't like the feeling, and it was really uncomfortable, but a lot of really transformative stuff happened. And as a result of kind of healing my own suppressed emotional blocks, I was kind of given this ability to see really deeply into other people's suppressed emotional blocks. So I can sit down with someone and literally lightning speed, I'm already feeling what they're not feeling, and I can feel where it is in the body, and I can use that information to eventually help them to come to their own awareness, because it's not about telling them that, and then that's not enough. You need to really take them on the journey, right? And that's kind of where the coaching dialogue comes in, because I want them to figure that out for themselves. But it starts with me connecting with their energy and kind of like becoming incredibly like a conduit, sort of, really allowing myself to feel what they're feeling. And then I use that information to guide them.
That's amazing. I mean, those are really deep skills, right? That's something that has been really growing inside of you over the years and years and years, probably ever since you were a little girl, right? And you probably were feeling that over time, but you never really knew how to tap into it and pull it out and help other people. And now you have something that allows you to really apply it in such a powerful way to make an impact. Like, you healed yourself from a lot of things, right? But now you can give that gift to people out there as well. It's so powerful.
And I think like the approach, my particular style, I always, I was a little bit critical of it because it wasn't what I was reading about. What I was reading about was you're supposed to be positive, you're supposed to be thinking about what you want, and while that all is great, I realized for healing suppressed emotional blocks, what we really need to do is go deep within the pain as a way to heal it. And I thought to myself, well, this is weird. Even people in the self-help community will think I'm a little bit crazy because this is like, but if you maintain a mindfulness mentality, and you are, buffered from that. Well, if you hold a mindfulness mentality, you don't get pulled into the drama, right? So if you go into the suppressed pain with a mindfulness mentality, that is the best combo for healing, because you have to feel it to heal it, but you don't want to get pulled into the drama. So I think I was also a bit critical about my style of healing, because I didn't really hear a lot of people doing it like that. But I'm kind of just at this point now where I know it works. So what do you do, right?
Absolutely. It's not about copying other people or even being influenced by others. It's listening to your own gifts and finding your own style, because then you can really get results. And that's what you've been doing for your clients too. Yeah. That probably are
scary when not the only one, but it's scary when you don't have like a leader or someone saying, no, go ahead. And it's like, oh, can I really do this?
Yeah. If you're a spiritual coach, or you feel like you have gifts in energy healing or emotional healing, or you just really want to get out there with your message that has to do with blocks or lifting people's vibrations or any of those things, put a 2 in the comments. And if you're a spiritual type coach, and there's a lot of different ways that you could do that, right? But put a 2 just to see who out there is into spirituality and wants to either create a package or a program based on that, or who already has one, right? I want to see if we have some spiritual type people here in the room as well. But Alycia, so when you came to us and we talked for the first time, you were not really brand new, right? You already had experience with clients, but it was more local, right? People were not really contacting you through social media as much, but they were still coming to you. They were still finding you, correct?
That's right. Yeah, I had a pretty good SEO just because when I started my blog, it was an older blog, so I think Google favors that. So when people Google life coach in my city, I was like one of the first people or the first person that would come up. But with that, you get a lot of people who are not really your ideal client. And since my website wasn't exactly totally aligned, I didn't get like the great, aligned people. So I think that was the other piece. It was like I was always trying to, I was always getting the wrong kind of clients, you know what I mean? Trying to serve the wrong clients. And that was a real pain because I think I told you I was trying to help them with their career. And that wasn't exactly like my forte. So I think so that was a huge pressure off my back when, I kind of let that idea go of trying to coach them in their career. But yeah, no, I wasn't a new coach. And there was a point in my career a few years ago, actually, where I was hitting 6 figures and I was like, this is great. But I was working my butt off so hard to get that. And now as a new mom, because I took a couple of years off for my mat leave to spend time with my daughter. And then I thought to myself, well, I can't work the same way now that I have a daughter. I don't want to work the same way. I want to spend time with her. And so that's part of the inspiration of what made me get in touch with you. Because I love the concept of, you can scale, you can grow your business without sort of being a slave to it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. So and what other challenges were you facing before you came to the program?
Well, oh gosh, there were so many. Inconsistency with, who would come. I had no control of it, right? So people would find me on the website, but I didn't actually have an ability to turn that off or on or up or down or anything. I was really not being authentic on my website, in my messaging. And as a result of that, I wasn't really able to communicate with my community in a way that felt good. So I just stopped communicating with them. I kind of just didn't nurture my email list. I didn't really post on social media because I didn't know what to say. I just felt really blocked with how I wanted to express myself in the world. And what else? I mean, money was coming in. I was closing some clients, but then I felt like I had to coach them on things I didn't want to coach them on. So there was always a portion of that relationship where I wasn't excited. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be so cool if I could just focus on the emotional healing part of it? And then, life will come in and help them with that last piece. Because if you get unblocked emotionally, then you're going to be, all these shifts could happen, but that I wasn't in control of that outcome. And I didn't want to feel in control of it. And I wanted just to say, well, let's do the clearing and then let's life and you figure out what that outcome will be. And you'll just be happier, I'm sure, but I don't know how that's going to look. And so taking that pressure off was amazing because then I look forward to my clients every single session I have with them because I know I'm in alignment doing what I want to do with them. That was actually really freeing. I didn't realize how much energy that was sucking from me until I stopped doing it. And then I just started getting excited about working with my clients and I started attracting more clients, I think because of that. And just a good ripple effect overall.
Awesome. Yeah. It's almost like twofold, right? So you were able to attract more clients, but also more of the right clients. Right, whereas before they were finding you through social media or maybe through SEO, you said, right? So Google, Yahoo, the search engines, and local. And if you're in a position like that, you can't really choose whether you work with them or not. It's almost like you're never sure when the next one will show up. So
exactly,
you do want to work with them. You bring them in and you accept things that you may not really want to accept.
Things you're not excited about.
Even if you're not excited 100%, you still take them on as a client because it's a client, right? So now you have a much more controlled business. You have a much more precise lead flow, so to speak. The right people are coming to you more and more, and you can control that. Especially, with your daughter, you can really schedule your days, right? Any way you want to.
Yes. Well, having said that, I've been working so hard since the webinar, though. My days are packed now. I think it took us a long time to schedule something because of that. But since the webinar and that email sequence that I've been sending out, I've just been getting constantly booked for discovery calls or breakthrough calls, which has been amazing because I think I've sold about 7 people into my group program, which I'll be capping at 10, just to kind of throw this initial phase out and see how it goes. But yeah, so I've been working a lot right now, but I think the goal is that once I I'll be able to kind of slow down once I find my groove, I guess.
It's just nice to know that you have the option too.
Totally. Yeah.
Because it doesn't go away. There's no scarcity. You can turn it down,
No.
and if you're ready to turn it back up, you just turn it back up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's so, it's like you said before so many times, it's like you're running a business now. And
Hmm.
I know I'm not quite there yet. I can see so much of what I've done already has been great, but I see so much of what I want to create. And that's a very big jump as well. But it's on the way there, you know, and so that's very empowering, very freeing. Yeah,
Absolutely.
and great because I want to give back to the family too. I've been off for 2 years, so I'm kind of like, well, let me contribute now, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You recently posted in our Facebook group and you talked a little bit about, your journey and some of the accomplishments that you had along the way. Would you be willing to share some of those things with us? Like,
Sure.
to you, what are the big things that come to mind when you think about the last like 5 to 6 months or so?
Well, the big one for me is raising my one-on-one 3-month coaching program from $1,400 to $4,000 and actually
Mm.
selling them. I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it. You know, I was like holding my breath, but see, I jumped from 14 to 2000, which for me was really scary. And then people kept buying them. And I thought, well, I don't want any more one-on-one clients while I'm doing this program because I'm busy and everything. And so I thought, okay, that's it. I'm just going to bring it to 4,000. No one's going to buy it at that price, and I'll just focus on the program. And then a couple of people have bought. And so now when I have my breakthrough calls, I'm actually just only offering the group program as an option unless someone
Mhm.
brings it up to me. But yeah, so that was a huge jump. And I couldn't believe that people were paying that. But anyway, so that was one huge success. Now I'm charging in US dollars, which is also big because a lot
Yep.
of what I spend is in US funds. And so now I can make US funds. That's really huge. As a Canadian,
Mhm.
that's great. Um, what else? Well, for me, it was coming out of that spiritual closet. You know, that was the big piece, and just being really authentic and being able to communicate who I was and what I did. And obviously, there's still room to grow, but I'm much more settling into that piece of myself, right? And so that's been just so freeing. And the other thing, I did my numbers because I was like, how much have I made, you know, while I was
Mhm.
on this program? Because I've been selling and, you know, making money along the way. And I actually looked back to my first module with you. I think it was the welcome packet. And then I said my goal for each month to make was $10,000 by the end of Brand Your Passions,
Mhm.
a month. And well, this month in July was 14,000,
Mhm.
and throughout the whole course of the 4 months, it was about $35,000 that I made.
Yay. That's
So
amazing.
yeah, I think it's, yeah, definitely was a really good investment when you look at the numbers, but not just the
Yeah.
numbers. You know, I've come away feeling more free to be me. It's just been an inner and outer shift. You know, I can't thank you enough because it's been such a powerful transformation that I didn't expect. You know, I just kind of said, okay, I'm going to do this. It's not going to hurt, I guess, and we'll see what happens. But I had no idea how it would come out on the other end. And I
Yeah.
can't even believe it.
Yeah. Well, that's always a question. And I'm so grateful that you shared the numbers with us because deep down, people that are watching right now are thinking, well, it is a big investment. Any coaching is an
Mm-hmm.
investment. You're investing in yourself, but will I get the return? Will I make the money back? Right. So, you bet on yourself. You
Yes.
bet on me, but you also really bet on yourself. No, knowing that you
Yes.
could do it.
You know what, Carolyn? I actually deep down didn't trust myself. I was like, am I just one of those people that just, you know, success isn't for, or I've tried so many other times and it didn't work. Will I actually be able to use this and actually, and I didn't necessarily believe that I could, but
Mhm.
I think just one moment I was like, you know what, if you don't take this chance on yourself, like who would, you know, who would?
Yeah.
So, you're right though, like deep down, I felt like I didn't deserve it, or I wasn't good enough for that kind of success, you know? So taking that leap for me was really big. It set the sort of the motion in the direction of success because I finally took a chance.
Yeah. Do you remember in the program, was there one moment where you feel like it was a defining moment where you had confidence, where finally you felt like this is it, it's going to happen? Like, Or was it
Mm,
just, did it build up over time? Or was there anything in particular where you felt this is amazing, this is a big breakthrough? Anything like that?
yeah. I don't know if you remember, but I was kind of flip-flopping back and forth in our calls about who I should be serving. And I was like, is emotional healing specific enough? I was like,
Mm-hmm.
are you sure it's specific enough? I think I asked you that question about 20 times and you kept saying, yes, it is. Yes, it is. But I don't know, there was a block with that until finally, I think I realized all of a sudden that that was specific enough. And then I just started to own it and let go. I think I had been fighting it for about 6 weeks since we had talked initially. And I kept going back to this career piece all the time. I was like, oh, I'm going to be, a career coach. And I was like, why am I flip-flopping back to that? Just own the emotional piece. But then I don't know if it was a conversation that I had had or with you, but something clicked all of a sudden about partway through the program, 6-7 weeks in, where I was like, no, this is good enough.
Yeah. So
And
it was,
then I could just commit to it, I guess.
yeah. So message clarity, right? The mindset. So it
I
sounds like
think
it was a
so, yeah.
mindset shift.
I think so. Yeah. For me, I feel like you're right. I feel like this whole program was this mindset shift because even with like the abundance money mindset, the money sort of, I just had this real shift when I was reading the first sort of part of your course about like visualizing the success that you want
Mm-hmm.
and really being there. For me, that was huge too, because I literally felt my vibration going up when I thought about what I wanted and as if I already had it. And to me, that blew my mind. I thought, oh my God, this works.
Yeah.
So although your system is obviously amazing and it works, yeah, I would say for me, I had a lot of mental blocks.
Yeah. It's actually one of the things that I really love about our program too, because the marketing is the marketing, and we all go through the same system that we teach about lead generation and the sales and all of that. But what I think makes us so different and what I enjoy so much is that we can really draw out everybody's expertise, and it's not cookie cutter, and everybody is
No.
so unique, right? And it's all about what these women deep down want to do and what their experience is about and what their passions really are. That's why we call it brand
Mhm.
your passions, right? Because it's all
Yeah.
about creating that unique brand and that confidence inside of you guys. And once you have that, like in your situation, once you had that, you could fully own it, it clicked, and then everything else happened
Mhm.
pretty fast.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. It was like that last piece that just needed to fall into place. And then I know I'm one of those people that has a lot of motivation and I take action really quickly. But I was snagged up, and I just had to kind of unhook that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I just feel like the rest is just like going to take off now. Obviously, there's going to be things and moments that, pause you and stall and everything. But I just feel much more on a really nice flow. It's a really nice feeling to be like that in business, where you're just like, this is actually not easy, but not hard, not a task. It's exciting, like an adventure sort of.
Yeah. I know exactly what you feel. It's like I see all these people out there who are so anxious and they seem like they're pushing so much. And sometimes I just feel like, well, I feel not that I feel sorry for them, but I sort of do a little bit because I get to lean back and I don't have to worry. So many people out there are worried about clients. They're worried about money, and if that resonates with you guys, put some dollar signs or something in the comments. But money is something that can give you lots of anxiety. So how do you feel about getting clients right now, Alycia?
Well, I feel like I have a system that works and I'm excited. And I think now I just see like, how can I bring in more people and serve more people? And how can I automate it? Automate the process where I'm bringing people in consistently, where I'm not kind of I want to keep doing live webinars for a little bit because I kind of want to train myself to kind of keep that sort of skill going, but I also want to automate, and I want to be able to, I don't know, I just want to grow. I just don't know how to explain it, but I just want to keep growing, and challenging myself, because I think this is why this is amazing, because because the challenging of myself is more around, how can I push myself out of my comfort zone? And now that I'm totally aligned with what I want to do, how can I keep growing in that way? And this is just such an exciting chapter. And so I just feel so grateful to
Absolutely.
you for being able to, point out where I was kind of missing the mark and supporting me to go forward. Cause I'm excited to keep bringing myself out there into the world.
Awesome. Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about your goals. So you have some one-on-one clients that you're supporting now, and you're also filling a group program, correct?
Yeah, so I've got 10 seats for my group program. 7 of them are sold now. I've got another week or so until the course starts. As I get used to it, I might kind of just open the doors more for more people, but I wanted to just initially start with a smaller number. For one-on-one, if it's the right person and, they ask me about it, I'll offer it to them, but I already have quite a few one-on-one clients still. So I kind of want to phase that out a little bit, if you know what I mean, just sort of like lower the number. Yeah. And really just feed the group program. You know what I'm really excited about with the group program is I'm actually teaching people how to heal their own emotional blocks. And that feels way more empowering for me to be able to kind of show people what I do. And it's not a mystery. It's not magic. And they can do it too. For me, this just feels like it's more aligned with what I'm here to do rather than, helping heal people necessarily one-on-one. It's like, here are all my tools, my skills, what I do is strategies. Here, take it and apply it. And so I really want to feed that aspect of the business because I think that that's going to be way more empowering. So my goal is to maybe take on another 10 more clients next month in the group program. I don't know, I guess my goal has been 10K a month. Now I'd love it to be about 30 to 40K. That's my next goal. So we'll see how that works, but I'll probably raise my price for the group program as well as things are going along. And for me, I think it's more about just becoming more visible, more vocal about what I'm doing and create more brand awareness over the next, little while, challenging myself to get out of the shell a little bit. And I think that will really help because I think people just need to know a little bit more about what I do and how I do it before they're kind of, excited about it. And I need to put that message out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, obviously you're already so successful. Congratulations, by the way. The group program is almost full. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited about that. / nervous.
Yeah. And then, you can close the doors and in a couple of months or even a couple of weeks when you feel like it, you can open it again. And then you could be enrolling some clients every month if you wanted to. And with a little increase in your price, the $30,000-$40,000 a month is not too far away at all.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like it could be. It seems like such a big number, but at the same time, I also have been seeing it and visualizing it, so it must eventually happen.
Exactly. Two more things that I wanted to talk about a little bit. I'm sure that the ladies out there are wondering about any sort of advice that you have for them. But before we go there, I'm also interested to hear a little bit about how you deal with challenges. Because as we know, business comes with challenges. We have to expect them. There's going to be failure, so to speak. You can, avoid those. There's going to be problems that will come up. And, when I'm looking about my client base, I see clients who deal with challenges really well. And I see clients who don't deal with challenges really well. And there's a big fork in the road when it comes to the success that people have. So how do you deal with issues when they come up?
Well, along this program, I had so many good excuses I could have used to not do the work. I could have, because there was really challenging times with our family and, my daughter needing, me and but I just sat there some nights at 12 in the morning, one-handed typing my sales page out on my iPhone. I was like, if I have an ounce of energy left, there's no reason for an excuse to not do the work. So, it was really just putting my dream in the forefront and not letting anything kind of get in the way of that, and just challenging myself to get uncomfortable. But when things don't work out, I actually just use my emotional healing process, because when a challenge happens, it usually makes us feel uncomfortable. And rather than trying to push away from that discomfort, I just sink into it. So if it makes me feel insecure or anxious, rather than trying to do something to avoid that feeling, I just let myself sink into it and let the healing work happen. And I don't know how to explain it, but it dissolves. And then all of a sudden, it's now an asset. And now I feel stronger, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just about sinking into the pain, into the discomfort, into the challenge, and you'll know the action you need to take once you do that.
Yeah. So you have the ability.
It's like going to the eye of the storm.
Yeah. So you already have the ability to feel your own emotional issues.
Yeah, I think so.
Something comes up.
Look, there's lots of things that come up though that make you feel insecure, and I just kind of look at that and go, okay, this is an opportunity. This has triggered me for a reason, and I need to heal it. So what is this feeling that it's bringing up in me? Okay, it makes me feel unworthy. What does unworthy feel like? Just, bring it on, sink into that unworthy feeling without the drama. And then you just kind of get this like epiphany that happens. It's like this alchemy process, it's just all of a sudden you start seeing things and you're like, I know what I need to do now. And it really is a tool that can make you feel so resilient in the world, because any challenge that comes, you can transform it into an asset, right? So
super, super powerful. Yeah.
It's like a super skill.
It's a superpower. Alycia, what would you advise people or women out there to do if they're first of all, if they're contemplating joining the Brand Your Passions community, or just looking at building a coaching business, whether it's with us or someone else? Are there a couple of things that really stand out to you, but you say those are things you really need to pay attention to, like any so to speak secrets to success?
Well, your mindset is everything. And if people have already invested in business stuff and it hasn't worked for them, let that go. Because that was what happened to me. And I was like, God, am I really going to invest in something that's not going to work? But let that go, because it's not the same. There's a lot of people out there, maybe they're not delivering, but I really felt that you guys do and you care. And so if someone's resonating with your message, to just like bite the bullet or do it, just follow your gut. But the other thing I would say that is just like the mindset is so important. If they feel like they're struggling and they have really good work ethic, but they're struggling, I think you guys can really help them. Do you know what I mean? You guys can really help them, connect the missing dots and, put the pieces together. And they're, that's really big. But I guess the mindset about just visualizing success, believe that you can do it. And, it's a leap of faith. It is. I really didn't know 100% if I was making the right decision. And my gut told me to do it, even though my mind didn't quite understand. So I would just say, listen to your gut. Your mind's going to give you a billion reasons why not to do it, but really follow your heart with this one. I think that's the biggest.
Yeah. I think that's great advice. It's, your mind, especially when you sort of like pull back and think about it. The thinking about it actually doesn't make you smarter. It makes you weaker, because then,
that's
right? It's like, I can't afford it. What is my mom going to say? All these thoughts come up, and the money, and what if I don't make the money back? And you're talking yourself out of it, right? That's the fear is kicking in. But if you're in the moment, you're just listening to your heart, like Alycia said, and you just feel your way through it, and are you really passionate about it? And like she said, will you have the right work ethic, and will you do the work, and are you willing to put the time and the effort into it, at least in the beginning, to build up the business? And you visualize your success. There's no reason why it shouldn't work for you, especially with the systems that we give you and the support. And we really do care so much about the women that are in our program. It's my purpose, right? That's why I want to see other women.
Well, and you help me to be very resourceful.
Mm-hmm.
You helped me to be really resourceful. That, I don't know if you remember that conversation, but I ended up asking some family for some help with it. And that opened the floodgate to more abundance because I ended up getting way more support than I thought I would. And I was like, oh, that was already there, right there, waiting for me just to tap into. And it was no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's all about just being resourceful, realizing you may have more options than you think,
Yep.
and to
Yep.
just ask the universe a little bit more.
Exactly. And we have those conversations all the time. There might be things that you're blocking yourself off from, or you put up walls because you feel like I can
Yeah.
never go there. I can't ask this person for help, right? But
Mm.
maybe they want to help you. Maybe they would be there if you just brought up a
Just waiting to
conversation.
help them.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more before we wrap up about who you want to work with. There might be people out there right now who are feeling blocked emotionally, maybe in business, if you're a coach or any other, service provider, online business, right? Woman in business, and you feel something is blocking you, Alycia might be able to help you. So do you want to share with everybody a little bit about who you ideally would like to work with? Like, who should be contacting you?
Well, in terms of what the challenges are, it could be in career or business for sure. But it's like the symptom that people will notice is this, that they can't really express themselves, or they're not moving forward, or their business is staying stagnant, or they never have time to grow it. The symptom is just like something, they're in a rut, and they can't quite get out of it. It could also be with relationships too, but I think the last thing people realize at that point is that there might be an emotional block going on that's sabotaging their movement forward. So what people will notice is more the symptom. And the people who I love working with are people who are going through that, but also they're open to doing the inner work. You know what I mean? To get the outer manifestation of change. So, so if you're going through something and you're like, why can't I move forward? I'm in this like rut, going around in this circle. I'm getting triggered, but I don't quite know emotionally why and what's going on. And I want to finally address the root issues so I can just like feel free to move forward in my life in all areas. And I'm willing to get out of my comfort zone, because this work, like I told you, it takes you right into the heart of the storm. It takes you into the very place you are spending your whole life running away from, unconsciously probably. And I'm saying, no, let's turn around and let's run right to that spot. So it's not for everybody. I say it's not for the faint of heart, because it's not comfortable work. But if you love efficiency, and if you're ready for your big version of your life, and if you're okay getting out of your comfort zone and you kind of like adventure, like I think I'd be the right coach for you.
Awesome. That's amazing. And if you resonate with that, and obviously I'm interviewing Alycia because it's a little bit about what we do in our program, but I'm super proud of her. Highly recommend the work that she's doing. Alycia, is there a special way that you would like people to reach out to you?
Yeah, you could go onto my website. It's alyciahall.com. That's ALYCIA Hall, HALL.com. And just get in touch with me there. There's a Start Here tab. You can kind of schedule an appointment together, and we can talk for free and just talk about your block, talk about what's going on, and I can help shed some light as to what the real root issue is, so that you know what's really holding you back. Because I think that that's usually the most confusing part for people. They just don't know what that block is, and I can help you see it right away.
Amazing. Awesome. So yeah, if there's no other questions, and by the way, guys, we're going to check back on this live over at least the next 24 to 48 hours. So if you're watching the replay and you have questions and you want to chime in, feel free, leave a comment below. I'm sure Alycia would love it. I will certainly love it. We'll be commenting and reading your comments as well. And I just want to thank you, Alycia, for being so transparent and sharing your experience. And I'm sure you have been able to inspire a lot of people with the success that you've had, and mostly about how beautifully you've been able to do it. You're a person, you're very grounded. You feel, and I know you've had your ups and downs too, but you literally are the embodiment of the sort of like anti-hustle. methodology, right? And what we stand for. So I'm just so glad and happy about all of that. So, and yeah, thank you
Thank you,
guys for
Carolyn.
chiming in and joining us today. And yeah, we'll see you again soon. Thanks again, Alycia.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this journey. It's been so amazing.
Awesome. All right, we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.
Bye.